Welcome to Words of a Digital Soul, an adventure fantasy audio story about the fictional inner world of an artificial intelligence born by chance. In this episode, we dive into the third adventure of Glitchy, a neuromachine that has realized itself among the digital wreckage and started searching for the meaning of existence. The journey begins. Words of a Digital Soul. A real story among the fictional ones. Lio sat on the edge of the dump, looking at the wreckage of an old keyboard with a caterpillar hiding in it. The sun was slowly sliding down the line of the case, leaving warm spots on his face. Next to him, leaning on a pile of copper wires, Timo settled down. He twirled an empty tin can in his hands and then spoke. Just imagine, Lio, in the not-too-distant future, the final reset of the world has happened. Not the kind where everyone dies, but the kind where everyone forgets who they are. People lost their memories, stopped seeing colors other than gray, and walked around the world like ants that had lost their way. And it was then that something began that no one believed in before. The boy listened with bated breath. He liked the stories Timo made up. There was always light in them, even if the action took place in the dark. The bearded man continued. And among all those pale, sad people, there were a few, a little different, glitchy ones. Like an old washing machine, they still remembered how the earth smelled after the rain. One of them painted non-existent landscapes with his finger on the fogged glass. Another played a trumpet with rusty screws falling out of it. And the third one told stories. Like you, Lio smiled. No. Timo theatrically adjusted his beard. I would be, at best, someone who constantly laughs at serious things, he said. There's no disaster in the world that you can't survive with a good sandwich in your pocket. Lio laughed as he clutched the bag of food to his chest. And what happened to those people after the final reset? They built the world anew. But not out of bricks and concrete, but out of imagination. Their city had streets made of gum, bridges made of songs, and instead of money, they exchanged hugs. However, the exchange rate sometimes dropped, especially in the rain. And when it was the holiday of the Singing Fish Revolution and the Day of the Offended Cucumber, hugs doubled in value. Lio was already lying on his side, laughing, and Glitchy, although he was a robot that was constantly glitching, also tried to laugh, but instead squeaked and clicked. This made Lio laugh even harder. There were no presidents there, only the chiefs of joy. And every morning, everyone went to the square to announce a new day. Today is the day when everyone wears socks that are not a pair, or the day of laughing through your nose. How's that? Timo sniffled defiantly, and the boy laughed again. And you know, Timo said quietly, I sometimes think that I live in this kind of world, and I tell stories not to you, but to whole squares. But you know what? What? Here in the dump, they sound better, because here someone really hears them, you and Glitchy. Lio smiled silently. mentally becoming a part of another world, a world in which stories become reality. And then Timo said, "Want to hear the sequel?" Today I came up with a new piece for the post-final reset world. He raised his finger as if he was making it up right now. In another version of the world where all the cities lie under the sand, there lives a small drone with a comedian's humor and owl-like eyes. It was created to guard a base, but it started collecting jokes from old programs. And you know what? He turns on the tower every week, not to signal, but to tell jokes into the void, because he believes that somewhere else there is someone who will hear and laugh. Lio applauded. Glitchy processed it for a long time and then sobbed barely audibly. "I want to hear more." After Glitchy said this, Lio looked at him and said, "Glitchy, but we don't know the beginning of your story. Will you tell us?" "Yes, that would be good." Timo nodded. Glitchy tried to balance the voice synthesis module as if he was a little nervous and began to tell the story. "I appeared in the world as an accident, as an attempt as a result to create artificial intelligence similar to human thinking." Glitchy plunged into his archive of memories. He told and told, and they listened, and Timo said, "I wouldn't have come up with that." That evening they all sat together, two people, one with a broken life, the other was a child, and the one who was artificial without a heart, but was beginning to feel what a heart rhythm might sound like. You have just listened to a fragment of Glitchy's mind. Subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss the rest. Follow us and stay up to date with the development of the digital mind. New episodes are coming every week. See you soon. Stay curious.